Investigators believe the female seen at 7:36 a.m. in the surveillance video in the front passenger seat of Stephen Stern's vehicle is Madeline Soto's dead body, propped up and buckled into the seat to appear as a living person. But closer inspection of the video shows her head leaning toward her shoulder with her mouth open. Stearns is caught on surveillance video again at 8:19 a.m. when he is seen entering the front security gate of the neighborhood with a female in the same position as the surveillance video captured at 7:36 a.m.
I don't want to gloss over that as we race toward the newest developments, including the suspect, mommy's boyfriend, whining behind bars about his mattress, his food, not having the right spoon, the walls in his cell. We also have emails that are emerging from his mom back and forth to him, knowing full well they're going to be read, about how somebody else, a she, is involved. More crime scene details that reveal the nature of this crime. But to Shannon Butler joining me, WFTV, I don't want to gloss over the fact that Madeline's dead body, this 13-year-old girl that has been being raped and sodomized since ages 8 or 9 under mommy's nose, her dead body is propped up and buckled into the car. Did I get that right, Shannon Butler?
Yeah, and that was part of his story, right? So he goes in and out of that apartment complex, which they did in the morning on the way to school. So that way, if any of the neighbors or anything saw him drive out, it wouldn't be unusual for Madeline to be buckled into the seat. What he said to us and to investigators is that she slept on the way to school. So he was working that, it appears, into his story about how he took her to school and she was asleep. But he did. I mean, according to investigators, buckled that seatbelt and let her sit there, leaned over. It's just unbelievable, really.
I mean, Tim Jansen, criminal defense attorney, he is actually tailoring a very intricate lie, stating that Maddie fell asleep on the way to school to cover up the fact that she's leaned over with her eyes closed because she's dead.
Yeah, science, technology is going to undermine the cameras that were seen. Clearly, this guy is the evidence on the phone. He's a pedophile. He committed a sexual terrorism on this child. The mother certainly had to know something or see something. The apartment was very small, and to allow a child to sleep in the bed at that age is just, it seems more like Maddie was an annoyance to the mother than her actual daughter.
Guys, what more are we learning now? Well, for one thing, and I'm going to circle back to Dr. Eric Eason regarding the years of sex abuse, how that can be determined from an autopsy or if it can be determined. But to Shannon Butler, I want to talk about his whining emails from behind prison walls. He complains about everything from his mattress behind bars, not getting enough food. I have never felt a full stomach and have in fact forgotten what that is like. Really? There's never a time these days when I don't feel hungry. Have you heard of the vending machine? The cell is small and filthy. Well, how was your mom's basement? You could still be living there if you hadn't murdered Maddie. The mat is flat and has very little cushion left. I bet it was nothing compared to sleeping in the bed with Maddie. Those are a few things you can think about, Stearns, before you send any more emails. Shannon Butler, what is this guy saying from behind bars?
You know, that wasn't the first time, right? When he was being transferred between jails really early on, he first started complaining about that first night that he spent in jail, that he had to use the toilet paper roll as his pillow. That was the beginning of his complaints. So we expected when we saw his emails that he would start complaining more about how the treatment is there and that how it's, you know, it's not so comfortable behind bars.